Today I'm gonna go over the Alabama Bottling Company, a Birmingham Alabama straight sided bottles. So they are a hutch in this style bottle. It just this one's actually a straight side, as you can tell. Straight side is referred to in the soda world because they were done after the crown top, we still use today in like beers and stuff, and then they are straight up. So Coke did a straight side, and Pepsi, and a lot of the early 1900s bottlers did them. So these are both Alabama Bottling Company bottles. As you can tell, some of the font is different. This one's a little thicker. That one's a little thinner. But overall, this slight variation is not going to give you any more value or whatever in the collecting world. And the color may vary. Now, both of them both have the A on the bottom. And I'm pretty sure the Hutch as well had the A, or a lot of them did. So there's that. And you can tell this base is a little offset, probably blown mold in. Is this one, and so this one's not near as bad offset. See if I can get them. There you go. You can tell a big difference there, side by side. So now a lot of people on these are I get a call and say I got a bottle, and they are like, well, it's got a dove on the side, on the back. So, and there is what most people refer to as the dove in the non-bottle world. And there's the little dove there, or what most people say is a dove. Unfortunately, it is not a dove. It is it's an eagle. And it is actually the Great Seal of Alabama. And as you will see, that there's a ribbon here, and he's supposed to be holding arrows with a shield, which is really just peace before war, is actually all that represents with the American eagle, or an eagle. But as I said, it looks very poorly drawn, maybe by a first or second grader. They don't get much better. Even on the hutches, I mean, as you can tell, that one's a little different. But so keep in mind that is the eagle, and that whole seal is the Great Seal of Alabama, which is done. This is the seal we used before we did the state with our main riverways, and both, see, this does a star on each side of the circle. So even a lot of the hutches have the same logo on them. So just keep in mind, when you call or comment, you got one with a dove, and it's an Alabama Bottling Company bottle. It's actually an eagle. Now on these older bottles, they'll say this bottle, property of Alabama Bottling Co., not to be sold. And what that has to do with is that they were competitors that would use their bottles, and they would take a paper label and slap it on the front of this one to hide their bottle. And so, because bottles were really expensive back then, and they still kind of are. That's why you don't see a lot of glass anymore. And they would slap something on it, so it may be Birmingham Bottling Company, and they would just slap a paper label on it and their crown top on top, and sell it as their brand. And so a lot of bottlers put this on here, that not to be sold. And that's not for guys like me and you who collect. It's more to keep one bottler from selling their bottle from a different bottler. And this went on for, this probably went on for years. I mean, we're talking, Probably, it probably started coming to an end probably in the 1920s. But that's why you have patent bottles nowadays, like the hobble skirt for Coke for once. So that is a Alabama bottling company, Birmingham, Alabama, straight side bottles. Straight side bottles. And as I said, there's a slight variations in them. There's a height diff in that one, but they're a great piece of history from Alabama. Great piece of history from Birmingham. Due to this is all these bottles here are pre the boom, which is why they call it Magic City, when the iron came to be. So we're about 1920s. When Birmingham really boomed, because Birmingham was a little bitty town during this time. So that's why it gets the term Magic City, because it went from a little bitty town to huge city overnight due to cast iron, Sloss furnace, and things like that. So this is pre the boom. Real nice piece of history when it was a smaller town. Thanks for watching, and keep in tune for some more if I can keep some more Alabama bottles coming your way with more information. Thanks.